Hi everyone, Dobby here, covered in floss. This is my channel about cross stitch, and this is a bit unexpected maybe, and definitely long overdue WIP Parade. So recently I managed to go through a lot of my projects and finally decide in my head which ones are going with me through this year, which ones are in timeout. So at the moment I can really show you the active WIPs. I made a list, and basically altogether I have 52 projects, 52 WIPs, out of which 21 are active. And you're going to see this 21 today, or at least I hope that I found all of them, because unfortunately, despite my attempts to find a perfect way of organizing things, it still happens that my projects are not necessarily where I want them to be. So yeah, let's see. But I am going to start with like a short introduction because it's been a while. So if you are new here, welcome. I really hope that you like what you are seeing. If you don't like what you are seeing, I do hope that you are going to find something on the interwebs, because YouTube and Flosstube are full of amazing stitchers. So my name is Dobby. My pronouns are she, her. I'm Polish, but I live in Germany. I live in Bavaria with my boyfriend and our two cats. One of them is a very regular participant in my videos, and she already decided to lie down on top of all my projects. So that may be a bit of a struggle trying to get that, but we will see. Yeah, she's just like, we have beautiful weather today. So here I have window that is now open, so there is just like a gorgeous sunspot exactly where all my projects are. So of course the cat decided that it's going to be her spot now. So yeah, I'm 43. I work in the field of intellectual property. I absolutely love that. Don't ask me to explain that, because usually it doesn't end well. I know what I'm doing, however, explaining what I'm doing is a completely different story. I have been stitching now, I think that it's been 14 years, 15 years, something like that. And I taught myself how to stitch. I have no idea how it started. I really don't remember. But I remember at some point sitting with a piece of like printed Ada and trying to stitch with all 6 strands of floss, and then realizing that this is not correct, that something is wrong here. So I went to interwebs and started searching how to cross stitch properly and so on. It wasn't YouTube, it was still with blogs, with like crafty blogosphere, that I found like a few places where it was explained how to divide your floss into strands, how to choose your fabric and so on, and that you should stitch first in one direction and then you're coming back in the other direction, and that you need to keep your stitches into the same direction, your crosses into the same direction, so everything looks like very, very neat and tidy. And basically this is where my love started, and it hasn't stopped since. There are moments when my stitching bag is missing in action, but I know that it is coming back after some time, so there is no worry about that. I also crochet and knit a bit. However, it's like the secondary thing to my cross stitch. So this is Peppa, one of the sisters. They are sisters, and she loves my stitching. She basically loves all my threads, if that's for stitching or if that's yarn for knitting or crochet. She loves being very, very much involved, especially with her face. Where are you going? If suddenly we start shaking, it means that Peppa decided to just rub her face on the camera holder. Now she is just like going full raccoon on stuff in here, and she just dropped my list to the floor where I have all my projects written down and so on. So give me a second, I'm just going to pause you for a second so I can retrieve that. So I have my list. I think that it means that we can start. So I usually don't iron anything. I have all my projects in bags, so there will be zippers, so you have been warned. I'm not going to be apologizing for like hanging threads, for not ironing things, or for opening zippers. If you are wearing headphones, you can just lower the volume a bit. So let me just like move my camera a bit so we have like a bit more space to this side. And I hope that I will be able to show you the mock-ups or the models of my projects on my tablet without too much of a glare. If not, I will need to just like insert picture, but let's see how's that going to work. So I have a list that is more or less alphabetical, but I have a pile of things here. So we're just going to grab whatever is in the pile so I can show you that and try to find the corresponding data on my beautiful, beautiful list that, as you can see, is just like super professional. Yeah, let's go into that. So basically, if you have been with me for a bit longer, you probably recognize me as a full coverage stitcher. Last year it changed. It changed a lot. I was just like going so much into all kinds of samplers that at the moment, full coverage, most of my full coverage pieces are in timeout, because even if I try to stitch on that, it kind of just like, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. It's too many stitches into cramped into like 1 10 by 10 square and so on. So at the moment I prefer my stitches to be like a bit more spread out in samplers and so on, but it can change, or they are going to combine. But don't be surprised that you do not see the full coverage pieces at the moment. So let me start with this is my most recent start, and this is a funky one because I became a gym weirdo. Why? I will tell you in a moment. Let me just first show you what that's going to look like when done. So it's called Daisy Chain, and it's a pattern by Caroline Manning Designs, and we have beautiful daylight, so my tablet's light is going crazy, but this is that. It's super tiny because it's 99 by 99 stitches, so altogether is below 10,000, and I'm stitching that on 20 count Easy Guide Ada, and this is where I am at the moment. Let me just try to find something that I can put behind that, if that's going to work. I think that I have a nice folder here that could be helpful if I don't mess up with anything. Let's see how's that going to work. Oh, that should be fine. So this is where I am at the moment. So why the gym weirdo? Because for about 2-3 weeks at the moment, 3 weeks I think, I am off social media. So I do not go to Instagram and so on. I still have accounts, I still have profiles and so on. However, I deleted the apps from my phone because all the news that were coming were a bit overwhelming. So I decided that for the time being I'm going to take care of my mental health. So when I am at the gym and I am doing my weight training, usually what I was doing between sets, you should have like the rest period, like up to 60 seconds and so on. Usually I was either on Instagram or I was just like playing some stupid game on my phone. But now I decided that I would like to just like also kind of limit my screen time, especially when I'm doing something else like being at the gym. So I decided to take my stitching. This pattern is pretty simple, so I can stitch in hand on that. And as you can see, I have some markings with like the friction pen, but it wasn't working so well on 20 count. So I just did like tiny dots at the beginning and the end where the line should be and so on. So I can just continue with one color. And basically, as you can see, this is the stitching from like one gym session. So I think that it's working pretty well. Of course, I'm getting some funky looks from people because you do not see too many people with their crafty stuff at the gym. So sometimes it's just like, what the heck are you doing here? But if it works and I'm not hogging the machines, you should be fine with that. So this is my very fresh new start. It was started on the 4th of March. So, today is the 6th of March. So it was just like started 2 days ago. So that was our first WIP that I hope that is going to continue in its current form. So being a gym project. let's see how's that going to go in terms of what my stitches look like and so on, because this one is stitched in hand, where I am very much a hoop stitcher. And I recently found like new kind of hoop that I am totally obsessed with. I will show you with my main project, but we're going to get to that. So let me just like dig into that and just take anything that is there, maybe something more crinkly, so we can go with that. So this one, it's so pretty. I like WIP Parades because you can just like really take out your stitching, you can take out your projects, and this is just like, oh my god, this is so pretty. Why I'm not working on that more often? So definitely, as I told you, that I did a proper selection of my WIPs. So all the WIPs that are going to be with me, yeah. So there was a cat jumping on my desk and dropping stuff from my desk. Everything survived. Cat not stressed. So yeah, as I'm taking into this year only the things that I really want to work on, the love to these projects, it's not going to be like working on them, it's not going to be a chore, because sometimes you feel that if you have like bigger projects and you work on them a bit longer, it can become a chore, and we don't want that. We really don't want that. So this project is something that I will tell you about the start date, that was the initial start date, because unfortunately I have a tendency to get excited about the project, to start it, and then deciding that either I don't like the floss, or I do not like the fabric or whatever, so I would restart it. But in this case, I liked the fabric, I didn't like the floss that I was using, so I am very, very happy to tell you that the current version I'm in love with. So this is Forests of Sumatra by Ink Circles, that I somehow managed to, when moving my tablet, to blow up to like 1000%. But here, so this is what it's going to look like. Stop with this light. Can I just change it in a way that it's not going to be like actively reacting to the daylight? So I absolutely love Ink Circles. Here is the light, get the light. Yeah, it's just like crazy. So I love Ink Circles. I already stitched on the Dragons of Sumatra, and now I have the squirrels and I have the forests. So Forests of Sumatra are being stitched. I really don't know if the light is okay. Oh, I think that this is going to be okay. I was hoping that the daylight is going to be perfect for like WIP Parade, but at the moment I start doubting that. Let me just turn on the light maybe. Now we're talking. So I really don't know how to show you that. So I am stitching that on a 32 count even weave that I got from my fabric of the month from XQ Designs 2 years ago, I think, at the moment. And I'm stitching that with one of my monthly thread of the month threads from Tomat Lily Creations. So it's this month was like full of kind of muted, powdery, I call them dirty colors. So let me just like show you. This is the floss, and let me just show you that against this fabric. This is just like gorgeous. When I saw that, I was just, this is what I want. This is exactly what I want. And on the floss itself, you often do not see so much of the variegation. However, when you stitch with them, the variegation is just glorious, and I absolutely love it. Let me just show you closer on one of the bits here. I hope that you can see that. So it's just like here and here. The variegation is definitely more visible when you stitch than, sorry, just like with this lamp at the moment, my face is just in the shadow, so it feels funky. Now it's in the shadow even more. Sorry for the lighting, the only thing that I'm going to apologize for. So this is definitely a project that requires a lot of attention from me, because since I am using 10 different colors on that, or I'm planning to use 10 different colors, I like the moment when I need to stop and think that I need to have this moment of extra inhale and exhale before deciding which color for which motive. And I do not decide that in advance. It is a kind of decision of the moment when I'm stitching, and it makes me so happy. It makes me so happy because, of course, the color palette, as it comes from like one source, it was already very well thought through. So whichever color I put there, I know that it's going to be okay. However, still, it's just like give me so much joy and pleasure to decide what is going to be stitched next. And it makes me even happier about my decision of restarting this one. So this one was originally started on the 23rd of December 2024. I cannot tell you when the restart happened, because I decided that I am going to go with the initial dates, because the first starts, they also count to something, even if they do not count into like the stitching progress data. So, but that was the moment when this project started in my life. Unfortunately, I do not have like both dates or the initial date for all my projects, so we need to rely on what we have. So that was Forests of Sumatra ink circles. Let me just move that to this side now, so I will know that you already saw that. Next one, let's just like pull it out. So here, one of my favorite project bags from Cross Stitch Jazz. I am obsessed. When I saw these duckies, I was just like, I need them. I do need them. And I was lucky because I met cross stitches in person during Essex Needles retreat in Stansted last year. I am going to be there again this year, but Jess won't be there. However, we are meeting in June during the Ladybird retreat. And during Essex Needles, I started a project by my favorite, you will see. And if you were with me on my journey of stitching monogamously on one project in last week and a half, you know that this is modern folk embroidery and that I am obsessed with Jacob's projects. And this project that I started is Got the Morbs. I absolutely love it, and it's just like I am super obsessed. So Got the Morbs, it comes from a Victorian slang and it means temporary melancholia. So yeah, we all definitely feel that from time to time. So I just really wanted to stitch that. However, it felt kind of too easy to just grab a piece of like light fabric and stitch with dark floss on that. So despite having that pattern for quite some time already, I really couldn't decide on the colorway, on the color palette I wanted to use. And when I was at the Essex Needles, I saw this beautiful 36 count linen from Megan Coffee Craft Fabrics. So this is just like peachy apricot-y. And when I was searching for floss for that, I wanted just like, okay, something contrasty, super contrasty, blah blah blah. Nope. There was also Rachel from Talking Dog Stitchery, and she had her floss with her. And one of the flosses that I saw was Melon Patch by The Gentle Art. So this beauty, I don't know if you can see the color in this light. So I decided that my morbs are going to be stitched tone on tone. And this is where we are at the moment. I am not giving you at the moment any statistics, any numbers, because this year I decided that I am going to be enjoying the act of stitching. I am not going to be counting my stitches and so on. I'm just going to stitch, and hopefully we'll be able to show you some finishes. So once again, this beauty, Got the Morbs by Modern Folk Embroidery, tone on tone, stitched on the fabric from Coffee Crafts Fabrics with Melon Patch by The Gentle Arts. So back to my ducky bag. So as I told you, it was started during the Essex Needles retreat, so I started that on the 27th of September 2025. Let me just, it feels like a lottery at the moment, because I'm just like grabbing something here, grabbing something there. Maybe something else is going to be better to show you now. So now, project from series that I absolutely love. I think that they have all the patterns. So this is Night Spirit Studios, Demon's Feast. Sage unfortunately passed away, So anything that is still available will be stitched by me from this series, and it's going to be my kind of tribute because I absolutely fell in love with the series, and the charting is absolutely impeccable. So here it is, what it's going to look like when it's done. And again, my tablet is going crazy because of the light. I am stitching that on, if I remember correctly, this is either 32, I think it's 32. Country Vintage Mocha by Zweigart. I think so. And I'm stitching that with one strand of CXC in color 3371, so this super dark brown, and I love it. And this one was started on the 22nd of July 2025, so I hope that it will be done before its first birthday. So we have 4 projects behind us. We're already half an hour in. I hope that you have a drink, a snack. Maybe you want to take a break, because it's going to be a biggie. It's going to be a longie. Now the next one that I already mentioned. So this is my Sumatra series. This time, Squirrels of Sumatra by Ink Circles. Oh my god, I love these squirrels. I really love them. And like all the motifs here are just like so perfect. So I started Squirrels on the 16th of March 2025, and actually I started that in this version, then I restarted that, and then I decided that I'm going to go back to this version. So I think that it was around October maybe that I came back to this one. So this one is being stitched on 32 count Murano, black Murano, and this is going a bit crazy because I decided to stitch it on black with colors, with all the possible colors, and these colors also come from my last year's Thread of the Month Club from Tom and Lily Creations. So here you can see 3 different threads. Here we have one that is just like greenish and bluish, here just like blue, white, baby blue, and these pinks. How many more colors are going to be there? I have absolutely no idea. What I know is it's joy. It's such a joy to stitch on that because these colors are just something else. So who knows, maybe I'm just going to stick to these 3 colors. Maybe I am going to have 48 in there. We don't know. We don't know. We don't care. We're going to be happy with whatever we're going to achieve. Next one on the list here, not on the list, on the pile here, sorry, is my Prince of the Meadow, and this is by WIP Parade Designs. So here you go. I got it during Stitch Basil as a paper pattern, and then Michał, the designer, was super kind to provide to all of us also the PDF pattern. So it goes super well in Pattern Keeper, and it's definitely much easier to stitch. So this one was started in the current form. It was started on the 1st of January 2024, and I am stitching that on a piece of honeycomb 28 count from Kaylee 10 Stitch, so the sewingshop.ca, and I am stitching that 1/1 on 28 with custom dyed silk from Silks for You. So as you can see, the variegation is so amazing, and it's so tiny. And for the first time today, I need to stitch on that more. I need to stitch on everything more, and I will. You will have so many finishes from me this year. Oh, I hope. I'm not promising anything, but I do hope that there are going to be a lot of finishes. Next one. Let's just pull it from somewhere. So here we have some pieces that I started during my Startapalooza for in December 2024. That was going super well until it wasn't. So I started, I think I had 19 new starts, 17 new starts at that time. I do not think that I have a single finish from that time. No, don't think so. Sorry, just a sip of my coffee. So there are going to be a few projects from that time because I started a lot of smalls, and I started them because I loved them, so I would really love to have them completed. Okay, here I'm going to show you is there a mock-up? There is no mock-up. How is that possible? I don't want to show you the pattern, so let me do a quick Google to show you. I was sure that I will be able to show you everything from the mock-ups, but not available. So this is another of my Night Spirit Studio pieces, and it's called Self-Worship. And I do hope that I will be able to show you that. Oh, come on. I just need a picture. Of course, they want to give me cookies. If they wanted to give me cookies, I would have cookies. Okay, I'm not messing around. So this is Self-Worship, known also as the Gothic Uterus. So I started this one on the 2nd of December 2022, and this is where I am with that now. So you can see like the top is going nicely. I was just like going a bit down here, and it's a small pattern, so basically I should just like take it out and work on that. The problem with this one is that I started on this 18 count Ada that is a bit crunchy, so it's not the most pleasant thing to work on. So who knows, maybe I will just like grab a piece of 32 count Murano in black and just stitch on that, because definitely 32 count Murano is one of my favorites at the moment. I am venturing a bit to higher counts, so maybe soon there will be more 36 or 40s, but now 32 is like a sweet spot, especially for my newly discovered love of stitching 1/2. So with stitching 1/2, we have another one that might get restarted, because this is something that I am super obsessed with. Let me just show you first the PDF with, oh okay, this is another one that doesn't have this, so I'm going to show you the mock-up. So this is the Witch Stitcher Leaf La Phlebotomy that I recharted to have it in pinks, because I'm a pink girl. So this is what it's going to look like when it's done, and I started that on this piece of mystery linen that I got ages ago during some kind of like the stitchy messe or something, stitchy fur. So I have no idea what count that is. It looks like $32, maybe. But the thing is that I started stitching on that with 2 strands, 2/2, and I am very much unsure about it. So it can happen that I am going to do another restart for this one and just stitch that on black 32 with 1 strand, because this is what I like, so why shouldn't I be doing what I like? But definitely this is something that I would like to continue on and have it finished, because I would like to have that hanging over my desk, like most of my things. And since it was started in December 2024, on the 8th of December 2024, it is very much overdue. So we need to get back to that. Next one that I had from that time. So this is my In Just a Satchel of Richards. And this one is stitched. Let me just show you what it's going to look like when it's finished. It is a design by Cranky Cat Cross Stitch, started on the 13th of December 2024. With a lovely sentiment. Oh, come on. goeth and ingest a satchel of Richards, though fornicator of motherhood. If you know, you know. If you have issues with that, I'm sorry, but this is who I am. So it makes me happy so much. It's just like I am obsessed. And I think that this is 18 count Ada from XQ Designs. Also, that was the fabric of the month before I changed to 32 count. And it is stitched with, what is it stitched with? Oh, it's 20 count Ada, sorry. And it's stitched with floss that I did not decide to number, because why should I? Do I have it in my pattern at least? Whew, yes, so it is 777. Good. So we're doing that 1/1 on 20 count. And it's just like a tiny bit here. Definitely I need to stitch more on that so I can have it, I can frame it, and I can have it over my desk that doesn't have enough wall for all the things that I want to have there. Okay, there. This is a face of a person that just got vindicated. Why did I get vindicated? I'm a bloody moron. So, I'm obsessed with the artsy housewife. When I saw the florist, I went crazy. I needed to have it straight away. I had like a perfect fabric for that. Of course, 32 count. This is like marbled, I don't remember which one, marbled grey or something. And I was just like, okay, I do not have any fancy flosses. I'm going for the cat. So this is my working copy from that time. So this is the mock-up for that. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to get the fancy floss for the cat. And I was sure that I bought it. When I started stitching, I went through all my floss in wherever box, whatever box I had it, to try to find it. I couldn't. Sorry, there are cats fighting. Hey! Mitzinis. So I convinced my brain that we actually didn't buy it. I just found it tangled in the fabric. So does it mean that I got vindicated, or does it mean that I am a massive moron as much as I thought? So yeah, it just like arrived now, just to mock me, no other reason. Okay, next one also from my Startapalooza, and that was the first pattern that I actually started then. So this is a Steph X stitch, and now this is, again, I need to show you the mock-up. So this is a beautiful quote from Barbie movie. Do you guys ever think about dying? Such a lovely sentence in pinks, right up my alley. So it was started on the 1st of December 2024. It is stitched on a 20 count printed Ada I got on Etsy, and this is where I am. So again, I kind of stopped stitching on that because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if actually this grey is giving enough contrast for these pinks to pop. But to be honest, looking at that now, I think I like it. So Dobby approved. We'll be continuing. No restarts, at least not at the moment. Next one is something that I got completely enabled by the Thread Gremlins, because they decided to do this one as a yearly stitch along. So this is Long Dog Samplers, The Siege of the Bunny Castle, and let me show you this gorgeousness. So here, it's not as massive as other long dogs, so it's just like, okay, this is going to be fine. I decided to just go and use my own flosses for that, and I am stitching that on, this is either 35 or 37 linen, I don't remember. And I am stitching that on with again my thread of the month from Tom and Lily Creations, and it was started on the 21st of March 2025. That was last year. So I decided to use the Dog Deer Dragon for my spring, and I basically have it almost completed. I need to just like fill in some pinks here in this diamond shapes, and then I can just like go to the rest of that. And I absolutely love it, despite that being not your regular long dog. It is definitely bigger than I expected, but not as intimidating as other ones. So maybe that's going to be my first finished long dog. Okay, we are just building a pile here. I do hope that nothing is going to just like fall down, but if it does, that's just life. Here I have an empty bag. Did I just take something from that? Did I want to put something into that? Yes, I wanted to put something into that. So this is one of the patterns that I got from the Gift of Stitching magazine. So they were just closing their online store, online version, and they were offering the PDFs of all the issues for about 30 euros, I think. I was walking around that for quite some time, but then I just like looked what they had shown on the website, at least from the cover photos and so on. And from the cover photos, I saw a few that I was just like, okay, these are definitely ones that I'm going to stitch, and that is the first one that I started from them. So this is Double Dutch Sampler by Sampler Cove Designs. So, and this is also my venture towards stitching from paper more. So again, trying to use the screen a bit less maybe, and it proves to be like a very good traveling piece, because basically I even have it in a hoop still, so definitely it was, and with needle just like stuck there. I think that one of the last times I was working on that was at the airport, so yeah. So I am stitching that on, I think that this is 36 count, 32 count. I think that this is platinum. Almost sure that this is platinum. And I'm stitching that with two colors from Tom and Lily Creations and one gift color from XG Designs that came with my fabric of the month. So I'm not sure if I will be able to show you that correctly because it's a bit of a biggie, but here is where I am, and I have finished the border, at least the red part of the border. I will try to put my folder behind so you can see a bit better the colors. So I am using the same colorway as it is in the pattern. However, of course, I have a bit of variegation, different variegation here. And it's such a delight to stitch on. I really love it. This is one of my favorite projects to just have in my bag and just like grab it. I don't need to worry about my tablet and so on because this is paper pattern, so I basically just like also roll it, throw it to my project bag. I just need to remember to have something to write so I can just like mark on the pattern what I already did. And this one was started. This one was not started at all because I missed it on my list. Did I? Or am I blind? No, I missed it on my list. Awesome. Okay, so let me go to another list that I have on my tablet this time. And where is my here? I should have the date here. I don't have the date. I don't have the date. It was started at some point last year. This is what I can tell you. It's just like I have no idea how I managed to miss it in my list. But maybe I was just like thinking that I would need to go back and check something somewhere, and I completely forgot. But yeah, that was my double Dutch, and I love it. And basically, it kind of started my love for anything Dutch now. And of course, what am I thinking about? About Permin and my Dutch beauty. Please stop me. Tell me no. Tell me no. No, 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 you have enough for the time being. So that was Double Dutch, and that was from the Gift of Stitching magazine. And another one that I have from them is The Deer and Hunter by Virginie Likens and Laura Martin. So this is this beauty. As you can see, I have a thing for deer. Don't know why, but strange birds, deranged deer, give me all of them. And with this one, I am going a bit crazy with the colors. So this one is stitched on 32 count Murano, I think it's called Mustard, if I remember correctly. It was started on the 16th of August 2025. I'm stitching that with this gorgeous floss called Canal from Tomat Lily Creations, and I'm stitching that on this mustard. So look at that. Look how neon that is. And I love it. And basically I think that I am like 1/4 of the project done. So I will need to push a bit because I want to blind everyone when it's on the wall. But yeah, this is just like one of the things. I was always very afraid of playing with colors. I was usually okay. I have the given palette. I need to use that. I need to use these specific colors. Later, I started venturing a bit into, okay, this looks red. I have a similar red, so let's try this one. And it led me to starting to play with stuff like that. At the moment, it's not like a regular thing, but as you could see also with the forests of Sumatra and the squirrels of Sumatra, I am feeling a bit more brave. So who knows what we're going to see in the future. Next one. Oh, come on. Next one. I think this is my oldest project. At least from the initial starting date, because the initial starting date, if I remember correctly, was in 2016, I think. And this is my only fancy lady so far. So this is my Mirabilia Red, and for this one I totally do not have the mock-up or model, because I'm stitching that from paper. So again, we need to ask Google to show us the picture. Can I just open the picture only? Yeah. Is it? Okay, it's showing funky. I'll try to change the orientation of my... So, it's her. I am so much in love with her. And if you know me, you know that I love anything Little Red Riding Hood connected. So when I saw her for the first time, I need it. But also, since I love her so much, I am also kind of afraid that I'm not going to give her justice with my stitches. And there was like a fabric decision that was changed, then something else and something else, but I think that we finally landed on what I really want her to be and on what I really want her to be. So this is where I am at now. And this fabric color is not showing properly now, but I'm just going to try to show you. It's so beautiful. So this is my Chemical Romance from Kaylee Ten Stitch, the sewingshop.ca, and 28 count, and I'm stitching that normally. So at the moment 2/2, still considering if skin is going to be over 1. Watch this space. At some point I'm going to do that, and this version of my red was started on the 4th of September 2023. After the initial date. I need to stitch on them. Next one. My pile here is getting smaller and smaller, and I have a strange feeling that I am missing something. I'm definitely missing something. But this is the smallest start on the biggest piece of fabric. Let me just show you. I hope that I have the pattern here, or not. Oh, I think I don't. So again, I would need to pull out the. Oh, maybe here. Sorry, it's just like for moving in a strange way. Yes. So this is Plum Street Samplers, Mini Winnies. I am obsessed. It's just like, I don't know if you can see that here. Just like trying to, let me take it out from the bag so I can show it closer, but can you see the studded jacket on this one and spiked collar on this one? These guys are cool. If they had longer legs, they could start their own motorcycle gang, but unfortunately they can't. Sorry. I used to have a very mini Winnie, and I miss her. So this one was started on the 14th of August 2025, and this is on the 32 count, or maybe this is platinum, but this is my start, as you can see, and this is my piece of fabric. Yeah, and it happens in life that you just like don't have time to cut your fabric because you really want to start stitching straight away, and that was the case here. So this is my start for my mini Winnies. Love it, love it, love it. It's going to be continued. Okay, mini Winnies back to the bag. My pile is starting to collapse, so let's hope that we are going to manage to get to the end of this video without any major falls. Here you are, come. So now this is a WIP, but I think that this WIP is going to be restarted. So this is my absolutely beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, and I have my pattern here. So that was my unicorn. That was my unicorn, scarlet letter, and a peacock, a unicorn, a badger. And I think that this is the pattern that started my love towards deranged animals. I don't know if I will be able to show it. Oh, here. Look at this one. Just look at this bird. Then the peacock. The peacock totally saw some things. I am not even going to comment on this bird and its fish, or the squirrel. I love it so much, but, and it's a big but, it's a full coverage. It's a full coverage. So, as I told you, recently I do not feel full coverages, but I really want to stitch on that. So I started on this piece of linen that I definitely need to have something behind. Started on this piece of linen, and it's lovely, and I love stitching on that and so on, but it's full coverage. So I started wondering if that wouldn't be a good idea to actually stitch that on green. So in my recent adventures, I dyed a piece of 24 count. Yes, it is 24 count. I dyed it green. And I start thinking that this is what I want to use. It is a bit brighter than you can see at the moment. Just like it's really not showing correctly, but we all know that if I put like a white against that or behind that, it looks a bit more grayed. But imagine that this is like with the mottling that I achieved. Imagine a bit more green. And I think that it can really work. I just need to check how the silks, because I invested and I got myself the soie d'Alger. Oh my god, they are so soft. They are so amazing. These are like a few that I have at the moment on my floss drops. They are so soft, they are so beautiful. So I need to see how they are going to behave on 24 count, because 24 count has a pretty thick weave. So the thread of the fabric is thick, and it feels kind of rougher. So I would need to see if that's not going to be ripping my thread. If that isn't, this is what we can do. This is what we might do and might continue. So this is one of the plans that I have, to just have it checked. How's that going to work? Because this is definitely one of the things that I am going to take my time with, because you don't want to stitch too quickly with these beautiful silks, because they are so soft and they are so amazing and the colors are so beautiful. So I started that on the 21st of March 2025. So I think that it might be a good thing to restart that maybe on the anniversary. Now, the next one that we have is a piece that was restarted about 1100 times. And I don't know if I was restarting that because I was intimidated by the piece, or if that was, I don't know what that was. But I the first time when I started that, I wanted to use my colors, and definitely I wasn't ready for that. Then I left it for quite some time. Then when I came back, I started to stitch that on 40 count, but 40 count linen, so my eyes weren't taking that too well. So again, it was left. It was left aside, I wasn't touching that, and so on. And finally, I got myself a piece of this gorgeous pink, bubblegum pink 32 count Murano from Creative Hannelore. And I decided that this is going to be the punkiest cross stitch ever. So, welcome to the world of Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers, stitched on a bubblegum pink with simple black. Just like I'm trying to. Oh, this is the color. So as you can see, this is punk as hell. So I started and restarted, so I have no idea what the correct date actually is. The date that I have here, I think, is the date of when I started that on 40 count, and we are keeping this one. So this is the 4th of October 2023. But I think that this is much more enjoyable, at least for me. And in the same bag at the moment, I have something that probably is going to be restarted. But we shall see. I don't think that the current season is like pulling me towards this project. So this is my Caroline Manning Sweather Weather, and it's as fun to stitch as it's fun to say. If you want to see it finished, go to Jessie Marie Does Stuff, because hers is absolutely gorgeous. And this is exactly the piece that made me fall in love with Caroline Manning. They are so graphic, they are just like so easy to stitch. I have millions of her patterns at the moment. I need to just like finish one until I start another one, and now we have a delivery. Sorry. So I am back. It was like a delivery. So getting back to my sweater weather. So I'm stitching that on this, I think this is 35. 37 linen, and I'm stitching that with one strand over two. So basically I like stitching on that when I don't know what I want to stitch on, because I can just like grab one of my threads and just stitch. I think that this is the thing about most of the Caroline Manning patterns. Once you get into the rhythm, it just flies. They have such a lovely flow that I would highly recommend them to anyone who sometimes needs some mindless stitching. So let me just quickly check my list in here. Yes, so one of the last ones, I have started a sale that I totally couldn't resist. I cannot show you what it's going to look like when it's done, because of course it's a mystery sale, so I cannot show you fully yet. I can show you only the mock-up for what we have at the moment. However, you can guess that from the name itself that I simply wouldn't be able to resist. And this is mainly X-Stitch Cats and Plants Stitch Along. And this is the part that we have now. So you have a bunch of mischievous kitties doing a very, very huge array of things, being kitties and involving plants in that. And I'm stitching that on this beautiful piece of 32 count fabric. I hope that you can see that it's such a summery color. And I'm just stitching that. It's from Coffee Crafts fabric, yeah. And I only have my first kitty here started, but of course I'm going to continue a lot on that. So that started with the first part release. It wasn't the 1st of January. Somewhere at the beginning of the year. This is what I know. And of course I need to have that in the cat bag that I got from a friend who was visiting Croatia. So the tiny cat bag for my tiny cats and plants Sal. My cats are sleeping and they're not having a single care in the world. And there is one project that I just realized that I do not have, and I have no idea where it is. It's tiny one. It's tiny one. I can just like show you what it's going to be, and hopefully, because it is really small, maybe next time I will be able to show you that as a finish. So it's Noctiflora Designs. It's a freebie called Hex the Patriarchy. And I'm stitching that on a gorgeous opalescent piece of 28 count fabric from Sparklies. And I stitched on that not so long time ago, but I completely do not remember now where it is. It's in places. Good places. Do we know where the good places are? We have no idea. But let's get back to the things that we know where they are. And this is actually last of my active WIPs. But it's not going to be a WIP for long. And this is excitement, total excitement. Because this is the thing that I have been stitching on for last week and a half. So this is Modern Folk Embroidery, House of Hearts. So pattern that I fell in love the second I saw it, and I think that it was the fastest I bought a pattern after it was released. So this one I started on the 28th of February 2025, and currently, let me show you. It is stitched on the 32 count Murano in the color Terracotta from Zweigart, and I'm stitching that with a white cotton that I speckle dyed myself. And definitely we need something behind that, and we need something bigger behind that. So as big. So as you can see, let me move things to this corner. Come on, to this corner. This is what I have left. I have exactly 607 stitches left until it's done. The excitement is real, and it's just like I cannot, I am just so super happy. And each time when I just like work on that, I fell in love with this fabric and this floss combo even more. The light is doing strange things again. I love it. Love it so much. So the plan is to announce a finish tonight already. And it suddenly got super dark, and now it's just changing the light. Sorry, just like turning on the lamp. At least it happened on the last project, that it's just so annoying at the moment. So I do hope that I'm going to be able to announce the big finish tonight. So let's see. And that was the last of my WIPs. If you watched me before, you know that I had a plan that I'm not going to be spending anything or almost anything on stitching this year, that I'm going to stitch entirely from stash. And this is what is happening. If I'm missing, for example, a color of fabric, I try to dye it myself. So it fits my needs exactly as it should. So for example, one of my plans is Glenda's Garden by the Artsy Housewife. I'm obsessed with her patterns. And I have a piece of fabric that turned out to be like too light for my liking. So I dyed my own piece. And this is what I am going to stitch Glenda on. Here it looks like more orange, but it's more like brick orange, I would say. This is very much pumpkin, but here it's just like, oh, here you almost have the color as it should be. So I'm going to start Glenda, but as I also would like to have more finishes this year, I promised myself that I am going to try to finish something before starting something else. But before I start Glenda, because I know that with Glenda, when I start that, I won't be able to put it down. So I told myself that I am going to first finish House of Hearts, and then I want to get to at least halfway through with another project. So watch this space, let's see how's that going to work. But definitely I am having fun. I am really having fun. I thought that it would sometimes it's just like, you know, it's a bit of a FOMO when you cannot just like grab the newest pattern and so on, especially with the Artsy Housewife, because I'm obsessed with her patterns and the things that she's now releasing. It's just like the hyperbole. It's just like, I need this so badly, but not this year. Not this year. I'm trying to find a loophole for that, but it hasn't been yet like fully decided in my head. So yeah, that was basically that was basically that. My whips, a bit of my plans, and I do hope that I will be able to be coming back to you with more regular updates. I definitely kind of jump-started myself with this stitching every day, and it kind of restored my love for filming and talking to you. So I would like to continue. Maybe after finishing House of Hearts, I'm going to take a couple of days as a crochet break. But then I will be back. I will be back. So thank you so much once again for your time, that you decided to spend your time with me. I know that there are so many amazing stitchers on Flosstube, so I do appreciate that you wanted to stay with me and look at my projects and listen to me. And I love you all. Let me know, what are you stitching on? If you got to the end of this video, leave me your favorite emoji in the comment. And I know, do all the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, comment, smash this notification button or not. It's your life, it's your internet. I'm just a part of that. Thank you so much. Happy stitching. Bye bye.